Hey there, this is Donovan Hylton, your CEO of Hylton Lead Marketing Agency, a full-service sales and marketing firm based in Nashville, Tennessee, that's designed to increase the customer base and community presence for those in the public and private sector that want to do a better job of connecting to underserved communities, particularly in the areas of employment recruiting, urban core development, local business development, and international business development. So I want to take some time out real quick just so that we all can understand the importance of relationship management. Now, it's one thing to develop a relationship. It's another thing to maintain a relationship. Well, Donovan, what makes you qualified to speak on this subject? Well, in my line of work, when it comes to communications, public relations, it's my job to make sure that information is flowing from one side to the next. My role is to serve as a bridge to reach two extremes, worst case. And so for those things to happen, especially getting paid for it, you have to be professional at all times, and you have to be one that can build and maintain trust, especially when it comes to those, again, from the most extreme circumstances. So I know for a fact, most people, in regards to the individuals that I deal with, that are usually business owners, investors, maybe even as far as elected officials, probably wouldn't be able to handle the conversations that I endure because you're going to hear everything. And the question is, how do you still stay professional and maintain that relationship to where the individual that you're connecting with can still trust you, follow your advice, and or continue to work with you. Now, this conversation could deal with you working with a client. This conversation can deal with you working with coworkers. This conversation can go as far as your personal relationship with your friends or your partner or your better half, if you're married or just dating. The bottom line is, how do you maintain your relationship? Well, in this case, we're going to talk about specifically your coworkers. Keep in mind, no matter what, we're all human beings. No one's perfect. We may fall short from time to time, but how do you maintain a progressive, productive relationship? How do you maintain a character and standard that speaks value for your brand, both as a person as well as the organization that you represent? One thing you got to keep in mind, no matter what, it's about how you say it, not what you say. And I've learned this from my mother since day one, because when I was younger, I used to have an attitude. I'm very quick-tempered, and every day I'm working on growing personally. And my mom used to always tell me, Donovan, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And granted, we all have rough days, tough days, and sometimes because we're in our emotions, I'm speaking to myself as well, we don't truly think about how we're saying things, even though we feel and maybe even know that what we're saying is not intended to come off in a negative light. But keep in mind, if you're looking to keep your quality staff members, and again, if you're looking for a personal relationship, if you're looking to keep your wife or husband or your spouse, and if you're building your customer base, if you want to keep a relationship with your client, you have to always come off as calm, cool, and collected. Why is it so important? Because if you're not serving as a source for calm, cool, and collectiveness, then 9 times out of 10, the individuals that you're connecting with are going to break down. Fun fact, they usually say don't talk about religion or politics during the first encounter, but I will say from what I learned, and it could be wrong, leave your thoughts in the comment. The word Abba, as we know it from the Hebrewic standpoint, the word Abba means father. But from a Latin sense, the word Abba also means source. So when we're, from a religious standpoint, we're giving thanks or praying to the Abba, we're praying to the source. And the source that we're praying to is the foundation, where you look at it as a father in a relationship. The father is a foundation. That's where the foundation that's balanced and level can support and maintain everything that's on top of that foundation. That's why the Abba is so important. That's why the father is so important. That's why the source is so important. And that's why in marriage, when the father gives the bride away to the new husband, it's one source for the daughter going to another source. And that's why it's so important and so ritualistic in regards to a marriage, of the father giving away their daughter to the husband, who now has to be that source for all things, for that foundation to stay level and balanced, for all of what happens that goes on top. So understand, when you're representing your brand, you're working with or for someone, and you're working together with someone, you're always having to keep the mindset of, I am a source. So when someone's having a tough day, rough day, they want to see you as a source, someone they can come talk to, someone they can lean on, someone they may be able to just be a jerk to, and you still stay calm, cool, and collected. That's what maintains relationships. It's so easy to develop a relationship, because when you develop a relationship, we all have our ideas of what that individual is. But true professionalism is, once the development stage is over and we get into the nitty-gritty, people start to see the character. People start to see the behavior patterns. People start to see that long-term process, and most times people end up falling out of relationship with each other. Either this is a personal or a professional standpoint. So if you're looking to maintain the best quality staff members possible, especially if you're in a leadership position, you have to keep in mind that you are the source. And so how do you become a source and pull out the best from your team? Well, keep in mind, you're always having to be a consultant. Look at the word consultant. Be consultant minded. That's where you're not telling someone what to do. You're pulling the information out of that individual so they can realize in their reality what they're supposed to do. So what I mean by that is, you ask questions. You lead into situations. So for example, let's just say somebody's at the office and they make a mistake. Hey, such and such, I noticed that, that this here is incorrect. Were you aware that this is incorrect? Okay, can you show me what you did to get to where you are now, how you concluded to get to this answer? Allow them to express themselves, allow them to get the information out. And then you can say, okay, well, thank you for trying, but unfortunately, we need you to do this. If you're a sound business, or if you're a small business growing, always keep in mind to create a standard operating procedure. There's this thing in business and corporate operations called policies and procedures. Policies is the practice that has been determined and solidified. The procedure is the actual step-by-steps to ensure that the practice is manifested. So if you don't have a standard operating procedure, 9 times out of 10, the individuals that you're working with will not know what to do or what's expected from them unless you actually tell them. And if you didn't tell them from the beginning and you threw them out there, or you may have told them halfway and they make a mistake, you're just as much to blame for that mistake as the individual making the mistake. So what I mean by that is, if you don't have documentation of the policy procedure and a mistake is made, you say, hey, how did you come up with this answer? Show me what you did. And then once they bring it to you, great, you did a great job, I thank you for trying, but this is where I need you to, this is where the mistake was made. I need you to focus on this area of the procedure moving forward so the mistake does not happen again. Now, again, nobody's perfect, but if you put that out there first in a consultative way to basically found them, they're gonna come off and be more productive for you. Because if someone's always being screamed at or talked about and what they're not doing, it's demotivating. And what you're gonna end up doing is losing a prized possession for your organization. Again, this could be a personal relationship conversation as well. And so you want to come off as someone that is a positive source, to where the people that may make the mistakes come to you to confide and to vent and to build with you. Now keep in mind, if the individual is making the same mistakes over and over and over and over, you don't have to bring it up right then, but go ahead and start looking for a replacement. And as you continue to give this individual chances, and sometimes one chance is enough. After that, that's it. I'm not saying you gotta give them a bunch of chances, maybe just one. But as you realize this individual is making the same mistakes and you've talked to them in a professional manner and they're still not getting it, start looking for another individual or partner. And once you find that individual partner, then you can just let the individual know, hey, I appreciate your efforts, but unfortunately, we're going in a different direction, things are not working out. And they may ask why, but you've already explained to them multiple times during the day what you needed them to do and they still have not been able to do it. And if they still make those same mistakes as you get deeper and deeper into repeating the same things, you may also let them know, hey, this may not be working out. I need you to really focus on this, because if not, you give me no other choice but to look elsewhere. And this is why, in a personal note, why you have so many people cheating. And what I mean by cheating is having relationships outside of the normal relationship that they've committed to, because that individual, which is their partner, continuously belittles them, speaks down on them, brings negative light to them. And what happens is, because people don't want to be a jerk and they don't have the guts to say I'm through, they usually might have a relationship on the side with a source, that Abba, and it could be a female, but with a source that makes them feel appreciated, makes them feel wanted. And once they find out that that person is committed just as much as they are, they'll go back to their original source and say, hey, we're through. So it's all the same thing when it comes to personal and professional productivity and behaviors. It's all about your values. If you feel this message was worth anything to you, just a quick note, please be sure to like and subscribe to this page. We have a Facebook page, we have a YouTube page as well. Thank you for sharing this information, and you can also click the link to our Cash App to donate what you felt this message was worth to you. If you feel like, as a business developer myself, I have a particular program called Corporate Ambassadors. And corporate ambassadors are representatives, such as myself, that go out and represent the brands and companies face to face in the community. So as a business development expert myself, I created a product called Corporate Ambassadors. You may know them as brand ambassadors. And brand ambassadors could be people that they hire same day to go to trade shows and represent that company or brand behind the table with a t-shirt on. That's a brand ambassador. But from a professional standpoint, I call them corporate ambassadors, where in this case, you might be in a suit and tie or professional attire for a female, and you're going out shaking hands with the public in regards to business leaders, community leaders, and government leaders. And so with my firm, employers, business owners, as well as elected officials hire me to go out and represent their brand in a professional light, called a corporate ambassador. And if you feel, and my business has grown so much to where now I have several corporate ambassadors representing several brands. If you feel like you want to become a corporate ambassador, or if you're looking to become a better business developer, or if you're looking to become a better leader, if you're looking to become a better customer relationship manager, or you're looking to become a better human relations specialist or human resource specialist, I would advise you to click the link to sign up with your name, contact information, to include your telephone number and your email, and I will send you a notification on when my next corporate ambassador webinar will be coming out. It's a webinar you don't want to miss. I do not have a college degree. I came to a whole new state with $14 in my pocket, and I've been able to build a brand where the public and private sector connect with me and my firm, or my firm and I, to represent their brand in underserved communities. And so click the link if you want to get more information about how I've been able to hustle and find out what I'm good at, what I like to do, what people need, and what people are willing to pay me for, and I'll help you build your brand and represent other brands at the same time. Click the link. I want to see you on the webinar. This is Donovan Hylton, CEO of Hylton Elite Marketing Agency, congratulating you in advance for your success, congratulating you in advance for continuing to build your personal skills and to grow personally, and congratulating you in advance on completing the webinar. Hylton Elite Marketing Agency, www.e1connect.com. Check it out, and always remember, we're more than just marketing.